This video is presented to you by www.testprepadda.com. Dear students, in the previous session, we learnt about different vectors. There we said that vectors follow law of parallelogram of addition. So this session I'll start with law of parallelogram of addition. Suppose you move from A to B and then from B to C. The resultant is actually A to C. Now to get that, we use law of parallelogram of addition. Now what is this? What is the law? The law says, let me select the pen. The law says if two vectors are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Let me write here. If two vectors are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then their resultant or addition will be represented by the diagonal of the parallelogram, both in magnitude as well as in direction, and that is co-initial with the given vectors. So I'll write here, then their resultant or addition will be represented by the diagonal of parallelogram co-initial with given vectors. So this is the law of parallelogram. Now if I try to draw, for example, This is the initial point. If I say this as a vector P, this as vector Q, then I'll draw a parallelogram here. Let this as O, this point as P, this point as Q, and this point as R. So as per the law, this OR, this OR will represent the resultant or addition of two vectors OP and OQ. So as per the law, I can write vector R, that is resultant vector, is equal to vector P plus vector Q. Now from this law of parallelogram, we can deduce another law, that is triangle law of addition. Triangle law of addition. Now what is this? Since you can see this PR is parallel to OQ. So OP is one vector, PR is another vector, OR. These three sides will give us a triangle. So we can deduce another law, and that is if two vectors, for example P and Q, if the two vectors are represented by two sides of a triangle. You can see this is vector P, this is vector Q, and these two are represented by the two sides of a triangle in the same order. This direction, then this. You can see same direction, same order. Then not same direction, better I say same order. Then their resultant will be represented by the third side but in reverse order. You can see we are going this way, but the resultant is this way. So the resultant will be represented by the third side but in the reverse order. This is triangle law of addition. So we can say vectors follow either law of parallelogram of addition or they follow triangle law of addition. Now we will try to find magnitude as well as angle of the resultant vector. So if I take the OP vector here, this is OP. So you can see if I consider if total angle, the angle between the initial given vectors, let us say theta, and the angle of the resultant with the first vector P, or better I say OP, let us say it is alpha. So here we will try to find alpha in terms of theta, and we will try to find the magnitude of the resultant vector in terms of P and Q. So This I can take as vector q. This is q. This is vector p. This is our resultant r. So if I talk in terms of magnitude, then this will be, since this is q magnitude wise, and if I consider this as, if this is theta, this angle will also be theta. So this is theta actually, and if I drop a perpendicular from a point R on this line of support of vector P, it will be, let us say, S. So PS will be, so I'll write here Q cos theta, and RS, it will be Q sin theta. So this was O, this was P, this was R. Now we have got S. This total length is now P plus Q cos theta. This length RS is Q sin theta. Now you can easily get the R with the help of Pythagoras theorem, and that will be R square is equal to OS square plus SR square, and that is P plus Q cos theta square plus Q sin theta square. Now if we open this, it comes as P square plus Q square cos square theta plus 2 PQ cos theta plus Q square sin square theta. Now here if I take Q square common, then cos square theta plus sin square theta will become 1, and we get P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta. This is R square. So what will be R? That will be under root P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta. This is the R resultant. This is the magnitude of the resultant vector R. Now we will try to find the angle. Angle, you can see it is the alpha. This resultant vector is making angle alpha from the first vector P, tan alpha. It will be what? It will be SR upon OS, and that is Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta. Dear students, please note that this alpha is the angle of resultant vector from first vector P. Dear students, please note that this theta angle, this theta is actually the angle between the tails of the two vectors. Tails of the two vectors. For example, if the two vectors are given in this manner, this, and for example this, then you have to extend this vector to get this angle theta. Now you can see the resultant is root p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. So this angle will help you in determining the maximum and minimum values. Maximum and minimum value of the resultant R. For that you need to know maximum and minimum values of cos theta. This is at 0 degree and cos theta minus 1 at 180 degree. So the maximum value of cos theta, that is 1, is at 0 degree, and minimum value of cos theta, that is minus 1, is at 180 degree. So it is minus 1 to plus 1. So to get the minimum value of R, I'll substitute cos theta as minus 1. So the resultant minimum comes as root p square plus q square plus 2p into q cos theta as minus 1. So it becomes p square plus q square minus 2pq, which can be written as p minus q square. And that is why at the end we will get p minus q. So this is the minimum value of the resultant. Now if I try to get maximum value, I will put the cos theta as plus 1, and this way it becomes p square plus q square plus 2pq, and that is p plus q square, and the root will get cancelled and we get p plus q. So minimum value is p minus q, maximum value is p plus q. So the resultant R will be in between the two values. Dear students, now I will discuss few questions to understand this concept. The question says, two vectors having magnitudes of 4 unit each and they make an angle of 60 degree with each other. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant. Vector P magnitude is also given as 4. Vector Q magnitude is also given as 4. And theta is given as 60 degrees. So we can use direct formula, that is R is equal to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta whole root. So it becomes 4 square plus 4 square plus 2 into 4 into 4 into cos 60 degree. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. So it becomes 4 square plus 4 square plus 4 square, and finally it comes as 4 root 3. Here if I try to find the angle of the resultant vector with the first vector p. So it will be tan alpha is equal to, as we have written earlier, I'll show you, tan alpha as q sine theta upon p plus q cos theta. Q, it is 4. Sine theta means sine 60, so it will be root 3 by 2 upon P plus Q cos theta means 4 into cos 60 means 1 by 2. So it becomes root 3. This 4 I'll take common and this 4 will get cancelled. Here it will become 3, root 3 by 3. This 2 will get cancelled. So it is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is the value of tan 30 degree. So the alpha value comes as 30 degree. Now I'll generalize this question. Since here I have given you values, magnitudes of 4 units. If I generalize this, for example, I'll take this question where it says two vectors having equal magnitudes of P and they make an angle of theta with each other. Find the magnitude and the direction of the resultant. Here again I'll use same. R is equal to root. This time it will be p square plus 2 p into p cos theta. Now if you solve, it will be p square common. It will be 1 plus 2 cos theta, which I can write as p square into 2 inside the bracket 1 plus cos theta. If you know this, cos theta I can write as 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. Substitute here. So this will become p square into 2 and this will be 1 plus 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. This 1 will get cancelled here and it becomes 2 into 2 4, so it will be 2 p cos theta by 2. So this is the resultant. Now if I try to find angle, then it will be tan alpha is equal to p sine theta upon p plus p cos theta, which I can write as sine theta upon 1 plus cos theta, which I can write as 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2 upon cos theta I can write as 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. So it becomes 2 cos square theta by 2, which I can write ultimately as tan theta by 2. So alpha comes as theta by 2. So this is the value of alpha here. Now I'll take another question, an easy question. Question says the maximum and minimum values of the resultant of the two forces acting at a point are 7 Newton and 3 Newton respectively. What are the values of forces? If you recall, we have derived this that the resultant R will be or will lie between P minus Q and P plus Q. This is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. And maximum minimum given here, so I can write P plus Q as 7 and P minus Q as 3. If you solve, 2P comes as 10, so P comes as 5. And if P is 5, the value of Q will become 2. So the forces are actually 5 Newton and 2 Newton. This video is presented to you by www.testprepadda.com. TestPrepAdda.com provides free audio-visual lectures of different subjects by expert faculties, free online tests prepared by expert faculties to students who are preparing for engineering or medical entrance exams or planning to take exams like KVPY, Olympiad, etc. It provides a platform where students can interact with mentors to improve their performance in the exams. The mission of this online medium is to help students to achieve their goals. Log on to www.testprepadda.com to watch free video lectures on different topics, to download free revision notes, to take free chapter-wise online tests, progressive test, and mock test, to discuss doubts with mentors. Thank you for watching the video. To stay up to date with the latest videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on our Facebook page, Test Prep Adda. All the best.